Well, hello there, audiences from all around the
Well,
world.
yes, hello. Once
Hello.
more.
We have returned with a non-World of Warcraft video.
Ah, yes, sticking true to what is the Blizz Bizz.
What is the Blizz Bizz? Well, we're not talking about the Blizz Bizz. Today, we're talking about the past, and specifically some of the tier lists that I've created, and we've all that me and my brother have commented on through the years.
Bringing up the past again.
Yeah, you know I'm all about bringing up the past, homie. And this is more of critique of me because it's fun to make fun of me.
Yeah, it's true.
Chris can speak from experience. He's done it for years.
Yeah, our entire lives, actually.
The image you see on screen, not related. I should actually probably share the screen with you. That might help you with everything.
You think so?
Well, you kind of have to see the screen.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe do that.
Yeah, there you go. Look at my screen. The image you see, not related to to.
I'm in a stream watching a stream right now.
Yeah,
I've got some Inception stuff going on.
it's all right. You get used to it.
I literally just see your alien background.
Yeah, I haven't put up the other ones yet. I
Oh,
needed
okay,
something
cool.
to just kind of sit there before we start blasting.
Gotcha. Blasting. Go for it.
Yeah, like I said, image on the screen right now, not related to what we're talking about. I just really like that I made this.
Yeah, it's my deck right there.
It is. But we're gonna go ahead and I thought we have two tier lists that I wanted to look back on. The first one is on a tier list of MMORPGs that I have played. Yeah, so there it is on the screen. It's the symbols. You kind of have to know what things are, and luckily I kind of do.
I kind of know what these are. Well, I mean, okay, let me reiterate. I know all of them. Haven't played probably 4 of them, maybe.
I had a bit where after I was kind of done with WoW, and after I was like, I'm not really too into Final Fantasy, where I was like, I just want to explore some of these other these indie MMOs, like Dungeon Fighter Online,
Totally.
and you could see the opinion it left on me, being
Yeah.
being pretty low, but not D tier, not bad, just not amazing.
Just not, good.
So yeah, so let's start with the S tier because I like starting with the best. Obviously, WoW is there because I mean we're totally not simps for WoW.
It belongs there.
It belongs there. Final Fantasy 14. I'm still not the biggest fan of the game, but it deserves to be there.
Yeah, it's still just as good as World of Warcraft. They both do a really good job of one-upping each other in certain areas. But other than that, they both are phenomenal 10 out of 10 MMORPGs.
Yeah, I think in the story aspect, which is very popular with a lot of gamers today, that Final Fantasy absolutely wins that in terms of storytelling in the medium of video games.
Yeah, they've done I was just say they've done a really good job recently, especially with Endwalker. I mean, the past 2 expansions for Final Fantasy have been great storytelling, but as opposed to World of Warcraft, which has had Shadowlands for the past 2 years, which is not good.
I would scream right now, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, and that's the thing is not to get too deep into the Shadowlands debate.
We'll get to that in another episode.
Yeah, we'll probably when we do have I guess mark it down as something that is actually going to be happening. But I wouldn't mind doing a I think we have talked about it before, doing a good, the bad, and the ugly segment. And
we did.
I think
I
think doing one of those for every single World of Warcraft, like from vanilla to we're in Shadowlands right now, and kind of do, because every one of them has, even like Wrath of the Lich King, which is top tier, has something about it that isn't super great. And I think it would be a good segment or a good episode really to show off not just like what we already know is amazing about the good ones, but what are some of the good things that did actually come out of the really bad expansions?
It's always good to kind of get that alternate perspective on things that are perceived as bad, but it's good to shine light and see the influence they might have on future expansions. I think about Pokemon in that regard. That people criticize Pokemon and a lot of like modern Pokemon, especially on a lot of the decision made, but these decisions are really good for the longevity of Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing that I've heard. So there's a few Pokemon people that I go to work with, and they all have the same complaint about how Pokemon is too easy. They're just like, oh, the game is too easy, and I wish it was hard like it used to be. Um, Newsflash to those guys: Pokemon was always easy. It is a children's video game. Like you're just playing it now as an adult. You have a grown up brain, and I use that term loosely also. Uh
Wow, hey, literal Pokemon fanatic sitting right here. Just tell me my brain's small.
No, I'm saying that about the guys that are making the comment of Pokemon's not hard like it used to be. Is that you have an adult brain. And those guys specifically are the ones where I'm like, maybe that term was, maybe I shouldn't have used that. But regardless,
fair enough.
You're an adult playing a child or a children's like Pokemon video or like monster collecting game.
Exactly.
Pokemon was never hard. It was never hard. And the only reason it was hard was because we were kids just going, I like that guy, I'm going to use it. And it was like Dunsparce. And like like it wasn't a good choice.
Yeah. But, no, and that's the thing. Like people will complain that Pokemon's easy. I'm sorry, but because the Nuzlocke exists, the game's not hard.
Right.
Like, if you're telling me you can have a hardcore Pokemon mode where if a Pokemon faints, it's dead, and it's beatable, you can beat the game with a level 1 Rattata. People have made crazy Pokemon challenges where they set the trainer's Pokemon's level all to 100 and still beat the game.
Yeah.
Like, the game fundamentally is not hard. Kids are supposed to be able to pick it up. I think competitive Pokemon has a complexity to it that people can enjoy, but the game itself is not hard.
Yeah, that's the thing is you're taking the mind and strategies of another player against another player as opposed to a, pre-programmed, pre-rendered world that, you just have to have higher numbers than the opponent.
Ooh,
like
use their hardest games.
Use their weakness and numbers them more.
Yeah, if children beat this game by spamming Earthquake, like, guys,
I was that children.
You're also that adult.
Nothing wrong with a good old Girthquake, if you ask me.
Chris sees Swords Dance on his freaking Salamence, and he goes, "Nah, I'm not taking that. I need Earthquake."
Ew, need Fire Blast.
Why on earth would I want to increase this guy's stats when big number deal damage?
Yeah. It goes back to our Warhammer talk. I don't want to strategize. I just want big damage unga bunga.
Big boys slapping meat.
That's all I want.
So we've definitely veered off topic.
Yeah, let's get back on the railroad, shall we?
But yeah, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, they belong in S tier. This should have been in Goku tier, the God tier, Lego Universe. I have told people this who have heard of Lego Universe. We almost quit WoW for Lego Universe.
We did. I would have.
We were ready to just be like, we're done with WoW forever. Lego Universe is the bomb. I love this game.
Like, people only hear legends of Lego Universe now.
People only hear legends of
Zelda.
But yeah, I thought that game because of I still think the game holds up because it was different for the time because you were able to have this free roam experience,
Yeah, I would honestly now talking about it and thinking back and having played more games, I I would honestly move Lego Universe to A.
Really?
Yeah.
Not a real fan.
Hold on.
Just fake fan here. What's your reasoning to moving it to A?
Just because, like, and I know it's because the game didn't have the longevity that the other two in the S tier have, so I can't really say, oh, well, it's because of story and mechanics and because of this. But it is those things. You know, like the original story for Lego Universe worked out really well. I'm not saying that it didn't, but I don't feel like if it would have kept going, would it have been this high on the list? I mean, like, because like we're putting World of Warcraft in S tier when things like Warlords of Draenor and Shadowlands exist, and you know, I can only imagine that. Like, if you would have asked me, would I put World of Warcraft in S tier back in the low points of, say, like Warlords of Draenor or the beginning of Shadowlands, I probably would have dropped it by one level. But taking the full extent of the game and its history and what it is now and what it used to be, there's more good things than there are bad. And I would say the same for Final Fantasy. I mean, you're talking about a game that came out and was so bad they had to blow it up with one of their gods in order to make a new one.
And thank God they did. Looking at old gameplay of Final Fantasy 14, holy crap.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like you take the good and the bad, but the good outweighs the bad by a massive margin, and that's what I think. At least with this tier list is what really deserves, or what game deserves to be in the S spot, is one that has major flaws but overcame those flaws and became a top tier, you know, still running MMO, which is why I would say Lego Universe, because it didn't have that longevity. I would have put, and I actually don't see it on this list, but I would have put Warhammer Age of Reckoning over Lego Universe.
Now, you see, I didn't really get a chance at all to play Age of Reckoning, so I have no blueprint for that.
Gotcha.
It kind of shut down like a month after I was ready to be like, all right, I'll do this, because you had started playing and you really liked it.
Oh, I love Age of Reckoning. If you want, there is a private server that's up, and we can actually play Age of Reckoning now for free.
Yeah, I might try that. Like that'd be pretty sick. So I can actually, I don't know, maybe we'll do an update to this list.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, but, I'd like to do that.
But yeah, I think we could do that.
Yeah. So that's why S tier. I honestly I put Lego Universe there for its legacy on us and being one of the few games where we said, "Oh, I'm done with World of Warcraft. I want to play this."
Yeah, exactly.
I still think the game was innovative for the time for being this. Honestly, like it feels like a Lego game but MMO, and that's like it's really weird to say that, but it.
Huh?
All right, sorry about that. We had something come up real quick, but we are back talking about stuff, talking about MMOs.
Yeah, still talking about MMOs.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Put a little funny quip. Just a little dumb thing to show that it was like, why aren't we did something stupid, and now we're back.
Oopsie doodles.
Yeah, just put like a whoopsie noodle in there or something like that.
A whoopsie noodle. I'm gonna search that up on Google and take the first image that comes up.
That could be dangerous.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we won't do that. I'll figure something out.
All right, sounds good. Anyway, MMOs.
So yeah, I think Lego Universe was innovative for what it brought, being a more open world adventure platforming game. Even like if you've played Lego Marvel, that open world is what Lego Universe felt like. And that was really innovative for the time, because no other MMO was doing that, or at least not doing it well. Not to the polish that Lego Universe had done. And I do think if it would had gone on a little bit further, I think Lego Universe would have been Lego Dimensions.
It definitely would have been the uh, IP storm that Lego Dimensions was.
Lego Dimensions was such a missed opportunity. We'll talk about that too when I start simping about Skylanders.
Yeah, when we do our Toys to Life stuff again.
Let's move down the tier. Let's move to A tier. This is still like high class stuff, but maybe just not enough high class to reach that S tier for me at the time.
Sure.
All the way on the left, Elder Scrolls Online. Honestly, I'd probably put this down to B tier.
I'd leave it. I would leave it.
I think with ESO for me, I feel like, and the thing is, like, I don't get this. I don't stay on this game. Like, I never feel like I'm like, all right, no, this is my game. I'm gonna log on. I'm gonna do well. I'm gonna do all this stuff. I feel like I play it for like 2 times and never touch it again.
See, I have that feeling for at least 3 games in the A area.
Well, and again, this was made 2 years ago.
Right. No, I get it. I was just saying, like, nowadays, looking at it, I have at least 3 of those games where, I mean, I'll let you finish your idea, but I've got at least 3 of those games that are basically like, yeah, I would move it.
Yeah,
but
and
the Elder Scrolls Online, that I would leave it an A. I think it's really good at what it does. It's got its target audience that it wants for it. And I mean, it truly is, out of all the games on any of these lists here, it's the only game that really lets me kind of create the character I want to play.
And kudos to the developers for not just giving up on it. Like, they improved the game. It had a really bad launch. It continued to be a very bad game, and then over the years, it just got better and did things people wanted. And all of a sudden, this is a very celebrated MMO.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the big ones. And having the console compatibility also makes that could also, at least nowadays, make or break certain MMOs if they don't already have something to stand on, like World of Warcraft does.
Oh my god, yes. Final Fantasy, applause for Final Fantasy 14 for allowing you to play on console as well, because that's huge.
Yeah. However, though, there was a the Dragonflight pre-patch and stuff like that they were showing off.
Yeah.
They are adding in controller compatibility for World of Warcraft.
So they kept saying they were going to do this, and here's the thing. I don't have the add-on that lets me play with the controller anymore. The controller still works for it, but it doesn't have a special mapping for it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hold R trigger, press A, and that's a new power. Instead, you assign each button on the controller as a macro to the keyboard hotbar. It feels awful.
Right. So they're adding in their own interface for it. Like,
good.
They're doing exactly like what Final Fantasy does, where you can hold L2 and then it brings up your second set of abilities that you can press X, square, triangle, whatever. Like all of that is going to be mapped in on there, and it's going to be its own program like Final Fantasy 14.
Good. This is something that needed to happen because World of Warcraft cannot ignore console users anymore.
Well, no, and especially when we've got, both PlayStation and Xbox now, they both have the services like the Game Pass where you can, pay $15, $20 a month, and then you get all of these games in your library because, buying games nowadays is just obsolete. So, why not throw in World of Warcraft into that $15 a month thing, because then you're still making the money from Game Pass, but now you're also getting people to start playing World of Warcraft, and now you can put it onto your console and play it on your Xbox, play it on your PlayStation. I mean, Microsoft owning Blizzard is opening a lot of doors. Like, there was a lot of predictions on what was going to happen with that, and now we're kind of seeing the results of that slowly come into play.
I really hope that something gets done about console. I want more console MMOs. I think they offer unique experience than a keyboard MMO would give you.
Yeah, I mean, they offer the chance to have another like more actiony MMO like ESO or DC. But I think a hotbar MMO works on consoles just as well. It just opens up the market and crossplay and all that a lot more.
I think that's really all I have to say about ESO. I don't think it's a bad game.
No.
I just don't get I don't get on it as much as I maybe even want to, because it's just one, I hate the launcher. The launcher sucks ass.
That's bad. It's not good.
It is bad. So like, I think the game is amazing. I don't really like the launcher. I think it has some cool stuff, but it's just not the game for me.
No, I think it's good at what it does, and the fact that it was a one-time buy and I don't have to pay a sub for it. I can just jump in and play it. Similar to saying like, oh, I'm just gonna play Skyrim for like 2 hours until dinner's ready or something like that. That's how I feel about ESO. Like, it's just another Elder Scrolls game that I can jump in, play for a couple hours, and be like, all right, well, that's good for this month.
Yeah, month. Let's not be generous. We jump on that like every half year.
Yeah.
Let's go to the right and address the elephant in the room. I put Classic WoW in A.
Yeah, it belongs in S.
It belongs in S. I think 2020. So we weren't in TBC yet, right? Because that was last year.
Right. No, last year we were in Burning Crusade. We've had Burning Crusade for about a year and a half now, I believe.
I think when this was made, I think we were like either we just started TBC or we were still in vanilla. But
we were building up to TBC, and you were talking about how vanilla is better.
And I still believe that. I do. But I think at the time, there was also a weird period where you and me just couldn't agree on what WoW to play. Because when I was into Classic, you wanted to play Retail. When I was into Retail, you wanted to play Classic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth.
It didn't help the overall, like, influence with it all. I couldn't just decide what we could play. And anytime Classic was really brought up, it wasn't super fun. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. Nowadays, put that baby in S tier. Whether you're talking about Wrath of the Lich King or you're talking about Season of Mastery Classic, they're both really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, World of Warcraft alone right now is sitting on a throne in the S tier, as you've got King and Queen right there. You can put whichever one in whichever slot, but the S tier is like the monarchy of MMOs, and that one definitely deserves to be up there.
I don't think there's much more I could say about Classic, so we're just gonna go to the next elephant in the room, DC Universe. This belongs in C.
Yeah, I agree.
I like DC Universe, but I only really like one aspect of DC Universe, and that's traveling. I love just walking on the walls and dashing, or like climbing up the buildings and traveling this huge metropolis area. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think the travel is the best out of all the games that are on this list right now. The only thing I really liked about DC other than the travel was the dungeons, like in quotes, that you could do with groups. I mean, a lot of them could all be soloable, but it's more fun to play a MMO with friends. And I think the game would have been better off if it was just a dungeon crawler, but like a third-person hotbar based dungeon crawler.
I can see that. I also really liked the scenarios you can do. I thought they added a lot to the game, and it allowed you to have like comic book like stories inside of an MMO. I think DC Universe is one of the few MMOs out there that really does make you feel like a superhero.
Yeah,
but it's not an amazing game.
No, it was better off playing small scenarios or dungeons, whatever you want to call them, than it was to actually, like, you traverse this land, but then you get to this spot where you're just walking around and fighting guys. and Starro guys.
Let's move to the right. Lord of the Rings Online. Now, I have a feeling that you're gonna put this in B.
I am.
I think it should stay in A.
I think it's a good game. I think no, you know what? No, you're right. I changed my. I think I jumped the gun on that one because it's still updating. The game is still updating. Like it just announced its next expansion
Yes, it did.
like a month ago, and like this was the game that the WoW Classic players were on because they didn't like retail. But now that we have Classic, and they're back on there. But Lord of the Rings Online was where you could still get that old school early 2000s RPG adventure, like massive multiplayer RPG adventure. Like that that's the game to do it on. And I think it not only, got its niche audience or its target audience and stays there and stays strong and has their servers and it's still adding like I think was it last year that they added in a new class and all that too. So it's like the game is still going strong. I believe it's Turbine is the company for that one, right?
I'm actually not quite sure, but I'm going to take your word for it.
I'm pretty sure it's Turbine, but like kudos and double thumbs up to Lord of the Rings Online and potentially Turbine if that's the company that does it. That's awesome. Like
Lord of the Rings Online is literally what would happen if we never changed things in Pandaria so drastically.
Yeah. Well,
the
even
Cataclysm. Or even Cataclysm. If we took Wrath of the Lich King and just kept going with that gameplay style, that is how Lord of the Rings Online is played, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
gorgeous. It says a lot about the gameplay style of that generation that says this still works even in 2022, even if it's not that big of an audience. We all need to understand that even if it hit 1 million players, that's enormous.
Yeah, that is. And I can't in good faith put it in the S tier because there's still things that the games in S tier do better than Lord of the Rings Online. And a lot of that is just, graphically. Those games, the other games are graphically better than Lord of the Rings Online. Like they haven't updated anything since the game started.
True.
Which,
they really do want to keep that sort of classic feeling in it.
Right. And that's fine and all, but I mean, you've got companies like Blizzard that make World of Warcraft, and even their, in quotes, classic character models are still nicer than Lord of the Rings character models.
That's fair.
But yeah, I would keep this in A. I definitely wouldn't put it in S, but I think that it is, if there was a category between S and A, yeah, Lord of the Rings would be like A+.
I genuinely do want to play Lord of the Rings Online again someday.
It'd be fun. I like that game.
Nothing is going to beat... nothing will ever beat me actually playing Sea Shanty 2 in-game in Lord of the Rings on a pipe. It was perfect.
It is pretty cool that they have those playable instruments in-game. I think that's something that other games could kind of learn from that too.
If World of Warcraft added... They don't even have to add a bard class. If they added a bard profession that lets you play music, even if only you can hear it or only your party can hear it, I would pay like $70 for that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
To the right is one of your favorite MMOs, Wizard 101.
Great game.
Would you keep it in A tier?
I would. Yeah. I think a spot is exactly where it belongs. It is a solid game, good world, charming characters. I love the idea of magic card dueling. The particle effects and spell effects look awesome. It's just it's a game that doesn't ever have to change, and it's also, I would still say, it's the #1 family MMO out there right now.
Oh, no doubt.
Like this is the game that you could have your kids play along with you if you had multiple computers, or you can have like the family account where the parents like hold on to the account, they have their characters, but then the kids can also piggyback on top of that and have their own section for like 10 characters and benefits like that.
Well, it's the family. Did you hear about the huge catastrophe that happened in game?
No, what happened?
So apparently King's Isle's servers got hacked, and like the worldwide messages they can send?
Yeah.
They were just saying like fuck King's Isle and this game is ass, and this gets spread out to every online player.
Wow.
And I'm just like, what the like one time only. And I think they awarded like every player that got those messages like 5,000 crowns as an apology, but like what the heck, that came out of nowhere.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah. I don't think the guy was ever caught either.
Well, probably not. It's the internet.
Yeah.
That's brutal though. Wow.
There were people who thought it was actually like a former King's Isle employee that might have just gotten laid off that day.
That could have been it, yeah.
But other people are also saying it's more likely a hacking group against Wizard 101 for still being relevant.
Did you hear about the sidetrack? Did you hear about the Splatoon 3 problem? Or I don't know if it was really considered a hack, but it was like a weird mode that somebody had put in, where there was like a giant, like the entire map was covered in porn images, and the concept of the game was to try to ink as much of the image before the game got like pulled and banned or something like that.
Oh my god, I didn't hear about this, but that's so funny.
It's really funny.
Man, add that to Splatoon 3. People will be all over it.
Yeah, that'll be its own special mode.
But I was actually... Back to Wizard 101. I was actually turned off to the game at first. I was not a fan. If you remember those days where you were desperately trying to get me to play Wizard 101.
I just want somebody to play with me.
Like, you genuinely just wanted somebody, and no one was going to click that with you.
Yeah. I mean, they've added in a looking for group system now. So now I don't care if anybody wants to play with me. I can still get my dungeons done.
Wow, okay, whatever. But I've since turned a leaf on the game. I think the game is really... I think like you do. I think the game is really solid. I think I love the whole... I like the whole more whimsical art style that they're going with.
Yeah. I like... It's very... It's charming. It's cute.
It's fun. And like you, I love card games. Don't look in my room. I love card games.
Yeah.
There's trading cards strewn about. And the fact that this is a card game MMO with magic, sold. I will play this again. Mark my words.
Oh yeah. I always keep it up to date.
So next on, to the right again, is actually something you never played, but I think warrants mention as a incredibly good MMO, and that's Poke MMO. So,
yeah, I never played it.
So this is an MMO that runs off of, so it can't be pulled down by Nintendo because legally they're not doing anything with the games.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing is hosting a server for you to connect your ROMs to play with other people in the real world.
That's pretty cool.
So you can go through the entirety of Fire Red all the way to Black and White with other people around you, with event Pokemon, and the way legendaries work is actually super cool. And the fact that you have to keep winning with the legendaries to keep them on your team, just making them a little goal you can get every day.
That's pretty neat.
But it's solid. It also made the game, we just talked about it earlier with Pokemon's not very hard. It made the game harder. I don't know if that's for the better, but it definitely made the game harder with giving them higher leveled Pokemon and giving people higher statted Pokemon as well.
Right on.
but it did a lot of things for like removing HMs, character customization. I can edit my sprite to look like a Team Aqua member going into the Unova region because it's cool. I think my character actually has a Team Plasma outfit because I love black and white.
That's neat.
It's cool, and I think it belongs in A tier because it's the first Pokemon game in a long time that feels like it feels like a Pokemon world. Like everything's connected. I can talk with players. I can talk with friends. If you wanted to play a Pokemon game for free, this is the one to do it in.
There you go.
Destiny 2.
Good game.
I'm back and forth on this game. I still think it stays at A, but I'm very back and forth with this game.
Yeah, it definitely belongs in A tier. They actually just released another, or not released, but they announced the next expansion after. Jeez, I can't even remember what the last one was called. The one with Savathun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the hive one.
No idea.
I don't know,
but I get what I get you.
The one that I was playing really, really hardcore into. But yeah, so they just announced another one that is introducing a entirely new Guardian class.
Oh wow, it's been a while since they've done that. If this is the first time,
This is the first time they've added in an extra element before when they added in Void Power. But they've never added in a new class. So this is a completely new or fourth class now that you can choose from instead of just Warlock, Juggernaut, and Hunter, I think it is.
Yeah, you Juggernaut all the way, baby.
Yeah. I think that's what they're called. Or maybe it's Sentinel.
It might be Sentinel, but regardless, big shield boy.
Yeah, big shield boys. Yeah, Destiny 2 is a good game. They're still updating constantly. And they're doing the last expansion was great. Like, I think even though I can't remember the name of it, it was really, really fun, and I had a lot of fun with it.
For me, Destiny 2 always felt weird because I never really saw Destiny 2 as a real MMO, even though it quite clearly is.
Yeah.
It always just seemed like, oh, me and Chris are just gonna jump on Destiny 2, do some dungeons and leave. It never really felt like and maybe it's because my main MMO experience through my entire life was mainly those hotbar based fantasy games, and this was something very different to me.
Yeah.
Not saying I didn't like it. I definitely liked what was the Star Horse thing.
Oh, that was. Oh, jeez, I can't even remember what it was called.
It's not the Crucible, but
no, Crucible's PvP.
I definitely love the Illustrious Stars. I did that so much.
Yeah, it was like Trials of the Star Horse or something like that, or Fates.
Probably the best mode they added to Destiny 2 ever.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I thought the dungeons were pretty cool, but I wasn't, and the game didn't wow me with the story. I kind of got through the main story, and I was just kind of like, I wasn't impressed with the main story. I don't think I'll like the expansions. I'll be real, I didn't pay attention to a lot of what was been saying in the expansions. It didn't seem like it caught me, like it had caught you.
I thought it was. I think they've all been really well done. I don't think I can think of any of the expansions that I didn't like. There were some that were weaker than others, that's for sure. Like, what was it? The something of Horus, I think it was. The curse, no, Curse of Osiris. That's what it was.
Oh, I remember being real hyped for that.
It was pretty weak though. It was pretty weak expansion. And then there was Warmind, I think it was called, where you fought against the Worm God, or one of the Worm Gods, because there's a ton of them. I love the Worm Gods. I think that's it's such a cool storyline. I think they're great little characters.
They got us on the Star Horse.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't had any like the main story for Destiny 2 with the Red War with Dominus Gall. Oh, so great. Like, I don't know. I love a good story, and I think, and I'm gonna sound like a pretentious asshole here for a second, but I feel like I would know a good story a lot more than other gamers that play these games because as somebody who knows how to structure a story and somebody who knows how to tell something well. I'm not doing it right now. I'm not doing a very good job of it right now. I write it out better than I say it, but I think I have a better perspective on storytelling than others would, and when I say others, I mean the majority of people that play video games not for a story and they just play it to push buttons and do a thing. Yeah, like if like majority of people play a game to push buttons and do a thing. I want a fuller experience, and I think that Destiny 2's storytelling has been really strong. But there's obviously been some, well, what about this point? And what about that point? There's definitely gaps and plot points that you can still touch on. But for the most part, I think they've written characters super well. And apparently and for somebody who's never played the original Destiny, like I never played any of Destiny 1, but I've caught up on lore from it because it's relevant to what I'm doing now. So I don't know. I think that people who say that Destiny 2 storyline isn't good don't know what a good story is.
Well, thanks. I love being called out live on YouTube. It's great. Love being called out by my own brother. Awesome. Love that.
It's not. I wasn't necessarily just trying to like poop all over you. I'm just saying.
You were literally like, "This is my channel," and you're just gonna poop all over me.
Excuse me. I am a co-owner of this channel.
All right, who's doing the editing after this?
Well, that's different. You're just doing the grunt work.
Grunt work.
I provide you with my presence.
Let's move on. It's the last in the A column, and controversial statement, I'd put this in S. Old Republic.
Garbage.
I love this game. I love this game.
Throw it in a dumpster, set it on fire.
Wait, really?
No.
No. Like, I mean, like, if that's your opinion, like, I kind of get it, but then, like, your whole I'm a good storyteller falls apart here.
Yeah. No, BioWare did a really good job with this game. I still wouldn't put an S tier. Because I still think that there's a lot of tedious things that you have to do in this game. And I'm sure you can agree with me on this, but this game has more menus and menu screens than any other freaking game on this list, and it drives me insane.
I disagree.
No.
I absolutely disagree.
What game has more menus and menu screens?
On the screen that I'm looking at?
Yes.
Dungeons & Dragons Online, Phantasy Star 2, and Elder Scrolls Online may not have as many, but it's sloppier.
Elder Scrolls Online is sloppier than SWTOR? Oh, man,
I would say it's way sloppier.
We are looking at completely different games.
I would say that Elder Scrolls Online's UI and menu navigation is way sloppier than SWTOR.
I disagree. Like, SWTOR is just... It's so clunky, and like the movements are not fluid. Combat is not great. I mean, like, any of the powers, whether they're ranged or melee abilities, do not feel good to cast or use.
And like, I think it's because when I was playing I think it was like a Devastator or something. It was the tank Sith. I felt my powers had impact. I know what my powers did, and the push, the pull, the giant explosion of damage I could do. I felt the impact, and the rotation felt good too. Because everything, like in 14, played off of each other. This procs this procs this.
See, my Inquisitor, you only have 2 powers that proc off of, or that you have 2 powers that proc 1 power, and that's it. So it's like I can either use my Lightning Storm or my my Force Lightning, and then that will proc Shock Burst or something like that, and it's just like a quick little instant ability. And you know, I've played all of the classes, not to the extent of my Inquisitor, who's got a higher level on that one. I think he's like level 30 or 40 or something like that. But I've played the other ones to, you know, a relatively long extent. I don't know how to explain it, but I've played them enough to where I've had a decent amount of abilities, some, you know, starter gear, and just getting into the middle of one of the first planets. And like, just range combat is not fun. And I tried playing the like dual wield lightsaber Sith. It's just I don't feel it. I feel like my abilities have more impact on Lord of the Rings Online. Like, it just, I don't know what it is about Star Wars. Like, it's got great storytelling. I love it. I love all the planets you can go to. I love that it's fully voice acted for the most part. Travel is nice because you get your speeder relatively early. I like being able to customize my spaceship, but man, it just doesn't feel good to play.
Hard to disagree. I've loved every second I have been playing SWTOR. Whether I was making a brand new character, the last character I had made was like a bounty hunter because I had never played one, or a smuggler, I should say. I made a smuggler because I was on the light side. I was having so much fun with it. I think the class quests were great because we can agree the storytelling and the full voice acting is phenomenal. It's one of the top tier.
Good. BioWare did a great job, and I'll never disagree with that. But the way that you feel about Destiny and their story is how I feel about SWTOR and their gameplay. Because the gameplay for SWTOR is very similar to DC Online's gameplay to me. Like, it's just, I know they're completely different because one's a hotbar and one's an action based, but when it comes to the feel or the impact and the look of my abilities, it's the same game. Like, I feel like nothing's happening on my screen.
That's going to be an agree to disagree because I think while DC's powers tried to have weight but couldn't capture the impact of each of their attacks. I felt my attacks, maybe they blew them away, but they just ran right back. When I blow someone away with a ground pounded Sith ground breaking attack, they blow away and they don't come back because of all the massive damage I did. And like I said, every power that I was using, like, looped into some other power or looped into that power that I can use again. I was a tank class, so it was about gaining aggro and dealing AoE damage. I thought that was so gnarly.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
Can't agree
again,
with you.
This is an agree to disagree point. Put in the comments how you feel about SWTOR, and why it deserves to be an S tier.
Anyway.
So now we're moving to B, and I know there's probably still some games here you haven't touched. Like, I think this next one you didn't touch. Adventure Quest 3D.
Oh yeah, I've never played that game.
I played this off a whim because I heard it was bad. I had played Adventure Quest World before. Just a little bit. I wasn't too into the game, as you can see on the tier list.
Yeah.
But I played Adventure Quest 3D off a whim, and I think it was a solid game. Like, did it blow my mind? Absolutely not. I think combat's pretty... I think how you feel about SWTOR combat, you'd feel about Adventure Quest 3D combat. It is not flashy. Impact is not there. But I actually love seeing Adventure Quest as this huge world I can walk around in. I love that they still have the witty writing that Artix Entertainment is famous for. If Artix Entertainment had the budget that Blizzard had, Blizzard would be out of business.
Oh, that's a hot take.
That's a hot take, but I just love how meta... I mean, I obviously don't mean that. I love you, World of Warcraft. But I love Artix Entertainment's writing, and I love how witty and fourth wall breaking they are. I love how they're honest with everyone. And I'm talking more about the company than the game, but it reflects in the game as well. They're not trying to trick you into all of this stuff. They're not trying to sell you too much. The game is free, and it stays free. You don't have to buy too much in the game, if anything at all, to play the game to its fullest extent. You can get gear and XP from doing these like events where you go and fight giant bosses while listening to Breaking Benjamin play live. Like, what? What MMO has the balls to do that?
It's pretty good, actually.
You're gonna listen to Blow Me Away while fighting off a bunch of moblins and orcs and ogres and jamming out in this session while getting gear. No other MMO has the balls to do that.
I'll give them that one, I guess.
I highly recommend the game. I think the game, if they continue to update it and support it, is only gonna get better. Will it ever reach the A category? Maybe. I think it could. It has the potential. But it's a long way from that A category. I'd say, like, in terms like levels, it's like halfway to leveling up.
Okay.
Another one my opinion's changed on. Dungeons and Dragons Online Original.
Yeah? How's it changed?
I feel like this should be in C.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that it feels more like a D&D game. I do. I like that. I feel like this is like, if you wanted to play a more live action version than the already live Dungeons and Dragons, this is the way to do it. However, Dungeons and Dragons is a multi-variabled game. You're not going to have the same experience, and this does railroad the experience very much so, to the point where it can be a drag to play. And it's like 3rd edition, and no one likes 3rd edition. That's not true, but...
No, that's not true at all. 3.5 edition is one of the most beloved editions of all time.
0.5.
All right, now. But yeah, it's one of those things, you know. I think it was good when we first started playing it. You know, it was something different. And we really liked the narrative dungeons, you know, like where you had the dungeon master reading out the things that you would find or the puzzles you would solve, the item or like doors would open. And, you know, the narrator would be like, oh, you hear the door opens and you hear footsteps coming down from the long hallway. The water drips as you can hear mice scurrying across. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. And I kind of wish that they would have kept that going in later Dungeons and Dragons titles. But I think for that one for me is what sells me on Dungeons and Dragons Online is the fact that you've got a dungeon master narrating a lot of the stuff happening for you. Combat, not great.
Oh, combat's garbage.
Yeah, the dice rolling system does not work in a MMO RPG sort of
setting.
Thank you. But
yeah, I don't have too much to say. I love the customization, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much of it, but it's Dungeons and Dragons, so you can do anything you want with your character to an extent, but they kind of limit you on that with just game rules in general. But I would definitely, I mean, I like the game. I had fun with it, and you know, it would be fun to kind of just jump on and screw around from time to time. But it definitely belongs in C tier.
Moving on, Fly for Fun.
I barely remember anything from this game.
I'm going off of nostalgia alone, which is why I put it in B tier. Throw that shit in C tier. Like, just throw it in C tier. Move on. Yeah,
just throw it in C. It was probably fun. You know, I don't have any negative things to say about it. So I'm gonna assume it was.
Thing.
I don't remember too much. I remember I finally hit like level 20 and was able to choose a class. And I chose like a magician or something like that, and then I could fly around on my stick. And then I stopped playing.
Yeah, we got to fly for fun, and then we stopped playing.
Yeah, that was it. So
Yeah, I put it there for nostalgic reasons. Put it there in C tier. Move on with our day.
all right, cool. Moving on.
Neverwinter.
Good game.
This game is garbage.
It's a good game.
I do not like Neverwinter. I think it's better than Dungeons and Dragons Online. It's better than DDO, but I do not like Neverwinter.
Wow, you actually weren't like memeing. I thought you were memeing me.
No, I actually don't really care for Neverwinter that much.
Wow, it's actually a really, really well made game.
Well, so is SWTOR, but
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say this. I would say if you think SWTOR belongs in A, I think Neverwinter belongs in A.
difference of opinion. But
they are on the exact same level.
Oh, hard disagree. I do not think Neverwinter is even close to SWTOR in how game feel is and how just the world is.
Well,
Like,
I mean, you're basing so Star Wars is, got its massive library of stories that it can tell and things that it creates for you. Neverwinter has literally every 5e campaign and setting put into it as well. So I mean, when it comes to a storytelling perspective, I think that were Neverwinter to actually voice act and create little like cutscenes for things that happen in there, it would be the exact same game. One would just be in Dungeons and Dragons universe.
I don't like I for Neverwinter. I do not like the. I think the hotbar system that they're going for. I think the whole thing in general to me feels so generic.
I mean,
And-
what? So it's technically an action RPG. It's not a hotbar. And in that game, I feel like my powers actually have an impact on what's happening. Like when you use an ability that uses up one of your resources, I mean, and you get a critical hit or something like that, like their whole screen shakes of how
I don't
hard you
feel
hit that thing.
I don't feel that at all when I'm playing. I feel like I'm using an ability. Yeah, there it goes, done. But it doesn't feel like it has weight to it.
Yeah, that's there's that. You've got your ultimate abilities that pop up too. So like after you've dealt enough damage, you build up your oh man, it's been a while since I've been on there, but I know you build up like a special meter, and then you can use like your ultimate ability. But yeah, you've basically got like your at will abilities. You've got your spells or first level abilities, that you can use, and then you've got your ultimate ability. So like all in all, you always have at least 4 available abilities and then 1 superpower. And then everybody has like every class has a different dodging mechanic or technique, different passives that you can stack. So yeah, I mean it's kind of like combining 4E and or not 4E, sorry, 5E and some of the talent stacking from 3rd edition. But I think they do it, especially the new layout that they have, the one that came out within the past couple of years. That layout for the talent system is way better than it used to be. Neverwinter, I mean, it's a good game. I mean, it's got the same problem that basically all of these games except Final Fantasy. Oh, actually, no, not Final Fantasy. Basically, all of these games, aside from like Final Fantasy and Wizard 101 and Lord of the Rings, like the big contenders would be SWTOR, World of Warcraft, ESO. Neverwinter has the same problem with the in-game market, where it's just everything pops up at you like, buy this, buy that, or you finish a quest, why don't you buy this?
It's very aggressive with its marketing.
It is. All of those games I just mentioned are very aggressive with their marketing.
And that's just a product of the time too. I don't blame Neverwinter for being aggressive with their marketing, especially as a free-to-play MMO. Oh no, I don't blame them for being aggressive at all.
any of them are, on any of the free to play ones that I just mentioned, any of them that want to be aggressive with it, it is what it is. But I think Neverwinter, I think people are sleeping on that game because, you've got some pretty well done storytelling. You're going through some pre-written adventures that are straight from the books that are made. You're going to zones that we're all familiar with from the Forgotten Realms lore, playing classes and races from the Forgotten Realms lore that we're all familiar with. And then I had a point here, and now I lost it. I mean, I like the dungeon aesthetics too. You still got your you have to solve puzzles, you have to find items inside these dungeons, and then you have to beat the big bad. Like, there's still dungeon bosses, but I like that they kept it to where it feels like an actual Dungeons and Dragons dungeon crawl, where you gotta watch out for certain things. If you move too fast, you might trip a trap and then it explodes, or you take damage. So I like that part of it as well. And I can't for the life of me remember the point I was going to make with Neverwinter. Oh, another huge benefit that it has too is that it is also console cross-platform. So
true, that's a huge benefit to it. I think I don't like the game. It belongs in B tier.
Like, I think it absolutely should be an A tier. I mean, it definitely belongs over DC Universe. Like,
no, absolutely, absolutely.
There's so many games that are below DC Universe that I'm like, what the hell were you thinking 2 years ago?
2020 me was a different person.
Yeah. So, like, me personally, I would move DC Universe and I would put Neverwinter up there.
I personally think Neverwinter's fine at B. I do like the dungeons, but I do also just have a whole host of problems with the game that I had mentioned. They may not be good points, but they're my points.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of games that do exactly what SWTOR does or better that are unfortunately below it right now in this list.
Well, you can be wrong because SWTOR's amazing. Moving on.
Okay.
Another game you didn't play, but I did. Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yep.
I played this game when it first came out in America on the Microsoft Store, and I had to install it not as through Steam or anything, but as a program through there, like we did with Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
I was hyped for the game because it looked really fun, and I do think this game holds up. I personally, I was describing this to my friend Lester the other day about I can't really get into JRPGs very much.
Yeah.
I just have a problem with the glacial paced storytelling and gameplay that's very. It's not what I'm used to.
How they're all the same game.
Exactly. And Phantasy Star Online 2, I like the gameplay. I feel it's really cool. It's really flashy. I like the space aspect. It's actually not used much in MMOs, is the space aspect. At least not the ones I've played.
Yeah.
I like that each, it's kind of like a loading screen thing. It's not fun for some people, but I like how, if you have to go into a zone to finish a quest, or to go to do a quest, you kind of load into, it's if you were, say you were in the Exodar, in WoW, and in order to go to, Loch Moden, you kind of had to be, teleported there. I kind of liked that aspect of it, and then you kind of had Loch Moden to go travel in. That's kind of how it worked in Phantasy Star Online 2, except it was in a tier system. It was complicated. I didn't care for the complexity that Phantasy Star Online 2 brought. I thought it was very overly menued. I thought the story was okay. I didn't reach endgame. For anyone who thinks that you have to reach endgame for your opinion to matter, I didn't reach endgame. I didn't reach very far because the game was very overly complex. And I had no friends that wanted to play, so that didn't help either. Um, I like the Phantasy Star universe, and I do want to give it a shot again. I would equate Phantasy Star Online to the dot hack PS2 games, but with better graphics.
Okay.
I still think it's a solid game. Again, give it time, give it some room for growth. Don't release Phantasy Star Online 3. Let this game grow, improve it. I want to revisit it someday, and I want you to join me on that, because I think you would enjoy the game to a degree, and so would Austin.
I'm sure he's probably played it already.
Most likely. But it's a neat game. Definitely want to give it a shot. Hopefully they can kind of lower the menu count, because it is very high.
Yeah.
I have a different opinion on our next one. Trove. I think it should be A.
A tier. Yeah.
A tier. This is a great game.
It is. It's Minecraft and Roblox, but not bad. So
You need to stop hating on Minecraft, Chris. Don't act like you didn't have like a month spree where you'd log on to play Minecraft.
I don't even remember that month.
Begging me to boot up to start up our server again.
I was not begging.
You were like, all right, let's boot up the server, Alex. You gotta boot that up so we can play together.
Yeah, boot that server up while I log into World of Warcraft.
You wanted to play Minecraft so bad, and then you found Minecraft Dungeons and you never touched Minecraft again.
True. Minecraft Dungeons is actually a really good game.
Minecraft Dungeons is a good game. So I like Trove. I did like a bunch of streams with Trove back when I was on Grand Cooper Gaming, and I mean, like, it's fun. Like it's not overly complex. You just kill stuff, get loot, move on, and it's this endless quest. And I love the simplicity of that.
Love jumping to the different biodomes, and I like flying around. And especially on like the free dragon mount that we can just shoot fireballs and get a bunch of free blocks to build later.
So cool.
Trove is just a good game. Like anybody who likes Minecraft or Roblox would probably enjoy they would like playing Trove, and then after they got into it and figured out how everything worked, would play Trove over those other two games.
I would say this. The reason why Trove couldn't be higher than an A at all is because we all need to be honest. The building in Trove sucks. It's not good.
I disagree with that.
I don't think it is as innovative in building as say Minecraft is.
I mean, because the only thing you do in Minecraft is build.
Never mind the combat and the things they have in the game. I think and Minecraft's entire core is building.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's
but if Trove is gonna act like, you know, they have this building aspect in the game to break down blocks and make your home at certain camps. I feel like it should go deeper, but it doesn't. The deepest it goes, and it's pretty deep, is like crafting tables, but I wouldn't count crafting tables as like building with blocks.
I mean, you can build. I mean, most of the stuff, is building stuff for the house and crafting tables for things in the house, or to advance your gear or make gems or make other classes. Like you can craft classes, which is pretty cool. But you can still build things out in the overworld, and then, you know, other users can come across them.
Yeah, I kind of want them to go further with it, but the core aspect of the game isn't about building. Honestly, I personally think they should just get rid of the building aspect of the game, because it doesn't really add that much.
I think it's there for the people that want to have it. It's not necessarily there because it has to be. It's there because, you know, it's something for other people to do. You know, if you don't have time to go out and do an adventure or jump to different biodomes, you can just work on making your house look really, really good. Or, you know, if you're letting the kid take over your account for a while, it's just to do the Minecraft part.
Right. But overall, Trove is A tier. Play the game. It's free. You'll love it, and you'll probably spend money on it like we did.
Yeah.
We're gonna revisit that game soon again. I know we will.
Oh, I hope so.
I remember when we got Connor into the game. That was hilarious.
Yeah, he still asks about playing it from time to time.
Does he really? That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he was having fun.
Because it's a fun game.
It is.
We'll move down to C tier. We're almost done with this tier list. I don't know how much longer. I don't know if we'll get to the other one. But we'll keep going. C tier. I don't know if you've played Guild Wars 2.
Nope, never played it.
I played it off a whim because I don't know if it was Connor or Michael who played the game.
Michael.
It was Michael. Michael wanted me to try Guild Wars 2 because he talked a lot of hype with it. I was already hating on it because my install failed when I first got it.
Yikes.
So it did not make a very good first impression, let me tell you that.
Yeah, it's definitely not something it wants to lead with, that's for sure.
I know a lot of Guild Wars 2's fanatics. There is a lot of cool things in Guild Wars 2. Dragonflight is straight ripping off of Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flying aspect, I should say. Dragon riding or whatever.
The momentum-based flying?
Yeah, straight ripping off of Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 was the one who perfected it and like made steps to innovate on this, and World of Warcraft took it. There's no denying that. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's warrant mentioning that Guild Wars 2 does have that. I didn't reach that far into the game. I'm the kind of person, when I play a game, if you can't hook me in those initial steps, I'm not gonna enjoy your game. I'm not going to play the game fully, and I think a lot of people are like that. And Guild Wars 2 didn't do that for me. I played the game, I made my character, the quests were confusing, the map was confusing. I didn't think like how I feel I have more impact with my abilities in Neverwinter than I do in Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2's spell impact or attack impact feels like nothing.
Yeah.
The camera's weird. I wasn't a fan of Guild Wars 2. I understand a lot of people really like it. I didn't have a very good experience with it. I don't really have much else to say. It's a good game. It's solid. It definitely, for a new player, it's hard to get into, but for veteran players, I can see why they like it.
Yeah.
Champions Online. Do you even remember this game, Chris?
I think I remember making like a fire guy, and that was it. Like, I don't remember anything from this game.
I remember we got so hyped about this game because we found the vendor that lets you choose how you want to fly.
Oh, yeah.
And that is my sole memory of this game.
I only remember making a fire guy, and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot fireballs, and then I don't remember a single thing.
I have more memories of playing Cartoon Network Fusion Fall than Champions Online.
Oof. Yikes.
Yeah. But none of the memories I have of Champions Online were negative, so I put it in C tier.
I would put it in D tier, I'm sure. I mean, I don't even think it's on anymore.
No, Champions Online has shut down.
Alright, yeah, D tier.
D tier.
It would be moved to D. It couldn't have been that great.
I still hold you accountable for the next game, Chris. Cabal Online. Chris, would you like to tell the story of what happened with Cabal Online and us?
It was a good game, and we all had a good time.
Yeah? It's not like you broke up a guild because of it?
Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
So... Yeah.
Long story short, playing World of Warcraft with our guild. Told them I was trying out this Cabal game. They all moved over to Cabal.
and this was a period where I was finally starting to feel comfortable with this guild and like, oh, I don't have to act so weird. I can just be genuine with them, and cause I'm that kind of guy where I'm like, I gotta get to know you before I'm like that. And I was just starting to open up, and they were helping me, and then they all moved to Cabal, and I never hear from them ever again.
Yep.
They never logged back into WoW once.
It's a good game, though.
Oh, it's a great game, and the music. Oh
The
my goodness.
Yeah, the music, they didn't have to go that hard, but they did.
This was literally Tarzan music.
Yeah. I would put Cabal, I would actually put it in the B tier.
Yeah, it deserved B. I didn't have a lot of memories with it, but the game is still solid. I don't know about any more though. It is hard to actually just get to play Cabal online anymore.
It is. I think you have to like use a VPN to get on a European server or something like that.
It is so dumb to try to play this game. But the game is solid once you actually do get to play it.
Yeah. I still remember what was it? 6th grade? I think it was 6th grade. I know it was middle school, but for one of my ROTC projects that I had to do, we had to like create or give a presentation on like who we are and things that we like to do, or one of our favorite subjects or something like that. And I actually made and presented a Windows Movie Maker video of Cabal Online with the background music of End of All Hope.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was. I straight up just took a camera, went on YouTube, looked up a Cabal Online like trailer, and just recorded off of the computer screen, and then put that onto the computer into Windows Movie Maker and put End of All Hope in the back as it was going. And it's like a core memory of me presenting where I go, I could tell you about something that I love, but I'm gonna show you. And then I showed them Cabal Online, and even I got really caught up in Cabal when it came out. It was really solid, fun
It was
game.
really solid. Yeah, I'd put it in B tier if redoing this list.
Yeah.
Fiesta, put that shit in D tier.
Yeah, I don't even remember anything from Fiesta. I remember what my character looks like, and that was it.
I remember logging into the game, seeing an event, and going, I want to freaking do that, and logging out.
I remember that was the game where like I would cast a spell on something, and it just sounded like, you know, like in Dragon Fable when you play the wizard, like you first start making a wizard character, and you use the standard attack, and it's just like a ball that goes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if you heard that sound, but
we all did.
Okay, good. And it just makes a little sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what spells sounded like in Fiesta. I just have that burned in my memory.
Yo, but like, quick side note, Dragon Fable is the bomb.
Yeah, I hated on that game when it first came out, but it's actually second best game made from Artix Entertainment.
Yeah. No argument.
All right.
Next one. You didn't play this one, but I did. Dungeon Fighter Online.
Garbage.
I mean, yes and no. Okay. I got this when I got my arcade stick because I'm like, I love beat 'em up games. I wonder if there's an MMO beat 'em up game. And there was. It was Dungeon Fighter Online. And my hopes were already crushed because I couldn't use my arcade stick on it. So I was like, oh wow, I can't use my controller on this, I have to use the keyboard. The gameplay's there, it's like a beat 'em up MMO, but the reason why I put it in C tier is, one, I think the game is very harsh to new players. Two, I think it is the most toxic market out of all these games. Like, I know we talked about, like, you're allowed to push your in-game store stuff, but Dungeon Fighter Online is like, it's like harassing me with its in-game store stuff.
Yikes, that's not good.
No, it's so bad. The game looks good. The music's there. The gameplay is solid, but I hate it. I would move this to D tier. I don't like that I had to move it to D tier because I think the game is unique, but yeah, it's in D tier. I do not recommend this game. Adventure Quest Worlds. C tier. I think I say it stays in C.
I don't remember anything from the game. I remember I played it one time and probably didn't like it, so that's why I didn't play it anymore.
The game is good. I I don't think personally for me the gameplay style of Adventure Quest worked in an MMO setting. Adventure Quest is legendary. Like
it is.
It is god tier of games.
It's good stuff.
And I don't think that translates as well in an MMO setting. But people really liked it, and it's not like the gameplay or the music or anything was bad about the game. It just wasn't for me. I'd keep it in C tier. To me, I thought Adventure Quest 3D was better.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what... Oh, no! I know what this little swirl is. Secret Worlds. This game fucking sucks!
Oh, Secret. Yeah.
This game blows!
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would put it in C tier. I mean,
no, play it nowadays.
Well, it's a different game now.
It sucks so bad now.
Yeah, because now it's like the Secret World something. Like, I don't know what it's called
Unlimited
now.
or whatever.
Yeah, no. Original Secret World is a C tier game. I would put it in C tier. I thought it was really cool. I liked the character design that I had with my Akimbo Blood Magic Templar. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think original Secret World was super fun. But when I made this, the only Secret World you were allowed to play was the newer Secret World. And I logged into that game just to be sure I remembered it. And man, it fell from grace.
Yeah, it's not good anymore.
Not good in the slightest.
I'd say original, C tier. This one, F, if we could even put it on there.
If only I could. It's still the lowest tier. It still sucks.
Yeah.
Pirates 101. I had so much hope for this game.
Also garbage. Terrible game.
Terrible game. Like, the gameplay isn't even fun. Unlike with Wizard 101. Wizard 101 has fun, like, whimsical gameplay. Pirates 101's gameplay is just Final Fantasy without the character that not Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem without the character Fire Emblem brings to the table.
Yeah. It's
like
just it's a soulless. I don't want to say cash grab because it was a free to play game, but it was just a soulless wannabe clone game.
Not a fan. Do not recommend it. Do not download. Play Wizard 101 instead.
I don't even think Pyro 101 is available anymore.
Funny enough, it is, and it's being funded by Wizard 101.
Of course it is.
Because they still make a little money from it, so, why not?
I suppose, yeah.
The last game I have on here, even though there's one more MMO that I've played that I didn't tier for some reason. So this one is Terra.
Yeah.
I didn't see the hype.
I put it in C.
Yeah, hindsight I'd put in C. I didn't like the game, like, at all. I don't think there was a single aspect of the game I liked. But it's there. The game is there.
Yeah.
I didn't like creation, didn't like the world, didn't like the music, didn't like the concept. Throw it in C tier. People liked it. I didn't. The one game that I think warrants a little discussion that I didn't put in is RuneScape.
Yeah, you didn't put RuneScape in there. Weird.
I don't think RuneScape was actually on this tier list because I didn't make this one. This was a pre-built one.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Definitely RuneScape deserves to be on there. RuneScape, I would S tier?
S tier.
Oh.
RuneScape has proven, like, whether you're talking about RuneScape Old School or RuneScape 3, I think both games are incredibly solid for what they do, and I think they are innovators. The fact that they are still going on.
I mean, I would have put it in B tier, but with that description, I would at least meet in the middle and put it in A tier. I would definitely not put RuneScape in S. Because if that's gonna be your excuse for putting RuneScape in S, then you might as well put Lord of the Rings up there too.
Well, no, I have more than that reason, obviously. I think RuneScape was very much ahead of the curve in MMOs. We need to all be honest here. People are talking about, back in Classic, like, oh, the social aspect of MMOs are gone nowadays. some of the first MMOs these people have played were not social. RuneScape is a single player game for the most part.
I mean, it really depends on like what you do in the game.
But here's the thing, especially because this is during the time with old school RuneScape still around. RuneScape 2, old school RuneScape, there was no multiplayer content in the game. The multiplayer content was talking to your friends every once in a while, and you doing a quest with them was taking turns doing a quest. The game is fundamentally a single player game. It's just you're around a bunch of people.
The merchanting is probably the most multiplayer about it.
And that's the thing. RuneScape understood that you don't need a full multiplayer game to have a multiplayer experience. And they still live up to that in RuneScape 3, even though there are now multiplayer options in the game. The gameplay is still a single player game. But it's so, I think it's revolutionary in the idea that it came up with that in like the late 90s. And the fact that that gameplay transitions so well into 2022, no other game on this list is doing that.
I think there's other games on here that have been innovating a little bit more than RuneScape, but you know, it's your opinion. I mean, just out of spite, I'm going to put it back in B.
You are, I fundamentally disagree.
Yeah, like I would like, in all fairness, put it in A, but like I said, just to spite you, I'm going to put it in B.
I think RuneScape's solid. I think it's still one of the best MMOs you can log in today. I logged in and I was like, I need to be a member. I don't get that a lot when I play MMOs where I log in, look at the world, and look at the things I could do and say, I want to be a member. Oh my god, this looks so fun. And sure enough, I bought a freaking 6-month membership to be a member because I love RuneScape. You can play it on your phone. What?
Can. Yeah.
No, like, what? That's amazing. And the gameplay is still solid there. I don't know. Yeah. I think RuneScape deserves the S tier rank. Again, whether you're talking old school or RuneScape 3, deserves that S tier rank. It's still being that other MMO that people are looking at.
I just don't think it deserves to sit next to games like Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. That's just that's just two different, completely larger steps to sit next to games like those.
I gotta disagree, but I think that's the thing. We're just going to agree to disagree with this, and you can kind of see, fellow Blizz Bizzers. I don't like that name at all. You can kind of see like where our priorities lie with video games. You know, with Chris, he's much more of a storyteller, and he likes like the world being the story. I really like. I'm more focused on like the action to action and whether innovation happened at that instance. And you know, I'm not saying you don't, but you know, with RuneScape, I obviously kind of treasure it a little more.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cool dynamic to have when we continue to talk about different games, because I'm sure this isn't the last time we're going to look at different video games, and whether we're looking at a tier list or a retrospective, you know, we got to do this again because it's kind of neat hearing your side and hearing your disagreements with stuff. I still think you're wrong about SWTOR.
I know I'm not, so that's fine.
Do you have any final closing thoughts before we end the video?
Nope. Oh, wait. We're done altogether. We're not doing the other one.
No, I don't have time.
Oh yeah, I see. I just looked at the time right now.
But we will do that another time because we've already taken a little over an hour doing just this tier list. Imagine what we're gonna have to say about Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Any final thoughts you want to give?
I don't think we missed any MMOs other than RuneScape. That was definitely one that deserves to be on the list. But Yeah, I think not too much moved. In all reality, there's just a couple of games that I would definitely would have bumped up, and then DC Universe definitely deserves to be bumped down. And
I will say this: we had a lot more bump downs than I thought we would. I don't think we
Yeah.
had many bump ups.
yeah, I agree. A few of the ones that went up were just games that should have been there to begin with,
Yeah.
but maybe just didn't think about it at the time. So, but yeah, we'll do the next episode will be on the Age of Sigmar tier list, and then maybe some talks about the armies that we're kind of planning out right now. Some of the ideas. Maybe I'll touch more on that whole Skaven Beast of Chaos thing. I can always touch on narrative story for my ogres that I've been working on. So all that good stuff.
Here's a sneak preview of that list. If all of you want to go ahead and argue in the comments early. There you go.
Oh my god, we've got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about. But
Man.
until then, Chris, let's do a throwback for me.
All
All right, Chris, what is it that we always do?
gaming.